Okay, students, in this video I'll be discussing about globe, map and diagrams. So this chapter is particularly based on class 6 first chapter, and also I made this video for the students who could not attend the live classes, and also to those students who could not understand during the live classes. Okay, so we'll start one by one, first with the introduction. Now, the earth we live is spherical in shape, but its upper and the lower ends are flattened. Now, you all know that the shape of the earth, which you have already studied in your junior classes, spherical shape, okay, just like a shape of football, okay, or you can say a shape of an orange, where its the upper end of the and the lower end of the earth is flattened, okay, just like an orange. You must have seen a satellite picture of the earth where we see the spherical earth. Okay, you might have seen these pictures, satellite pictures in some books or in some atlas somewhere else. For our convenience of studying the earth and its various features on it, geographers have prepared a small model of the earth and named it globe. Now you all know what is globe. So globe is a three-dimensional model of the earth, okay, which looks just like earth, but it is the a mini earth. It is a mini earth where it shows the continents, oceans, latitudes and longitudes. All these things are shown. You can see the picture of a globe here in the right hand side. Okay, this is how globes looks. Now you must have seen and used map at various places. Now this is about map. Okay, now there are difference between map and globe. Both map and globe shows continents and oceans, latitude and longitude, okay, but maps are drawn on a flat piece of paper, okay, which represents the physical reality of the earth. Now maps are the medium of expressing various features of the earth's surface on a flat piece of paper, as I told you. So map is a medium of expressing various features. Now there are different types of features on the surface of the earth, like we have mountains, we have different types of settlements, we have different kinds of forest, different kinds of soils. All these are shown. These are the features of the earth, and these features are shown in a flat piece of paper. That is what we call map. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, that is a representation of earth's reality. Now how earth's reality were represented since ages. Okay, now it says that since ages man has tried to depict his surrounding in various ways. Now what were the ways the man has tried to depict its reality? Now, like cave paintings was the first ways of representing the earth reality. Like cave paintings were the earliest known example of such effort made by early man. Now he made pictures of animals. Initially they started making pictures of animals, birds and their fellow men, okay, and also try to depict their surrounding or the nearby areas. Okay, they used to draw pictures of all these elements in the wall of the caves. Now this is important to note. Ptolemy is supposed to be the father of map making, or he is also called the father of map making. He coined the term terra incognita. It's not mentioned here. Terra incognita means, say, undiscovered, like it is not discovered land. That area is still fresh or which is not yet discovered. Okay, such type of land is known as terra incognita. Okay, so terra incognita is a word derived by Ptolemy. So Ptolemy mentioned terra incognita for such region which is still not yet discovered. Okay, such region is known as terra incognita, although it is not mentioned here. Now the earliest terrestrial globe was made around 1492 CE. This is important to note. The first terrestrial globe was made around 1492 CE. Now, various other means of depicting the Earth's reality were developed in the form of maps, sketch, plan, and diagrams. Okay, so only map was not the way to represent. Only map was not the ways to represent Earth reality, but apart from that, sketch, plan, and diagrams were also the other forms or other ways by which the Earth reality were represented. Okay, now moving on to the next one, we will start with the globe first. Now what is a globe? As I already told you, a globe is a small scale 3-dimensional model of the Earth, or simply you can say a globe is a 3D model of the Earth. So it is mounted on an axis. Okay, so you can see this is an axis here, although axis is an imaginary line. It is mounted on an axis, okay, on which it rotates, right? It is mounted on an axis on which it rotates. So on which it rotates freely. So landmass and water bodies are printed on it with the different colors are used. Several vertical and horizontal lines like latitudes and longitudes are also drawn on a globe for locating various features or places. Okay, so this is all about a globe. Now, how globes, like what are the advantages and disadvantages of globe? First we will see the advantages of globe. Globe help us to know the true shape of the Earth. Yes, very true. Globe shows the true shape of the Earth, how Earth looks like. Firstly, this is the advantage of globe. Secondly, globe depict 3-dimensional picture of the Earth, and globe also shows the 3D model of the Earth. So these are the two advantages of globe. Okay, now we'll discuss about the disadvantages of globe. Now, due to its small size, globe is difficult to read. Now you can see, as I already mentioned, that the size globe is a small scale 3-dimensional model of the Earth. So the size of the globe is very small, and it is very obvious that the continent, name of the continent or name of the cities of particular country cannot be shown in details in a globe. So it is very difficult to read the details given in a globe. Now secondly, it does not have enough space to cover finer details of every geographical feature. So every geographical features like mountains, maybe rivers, maybe some important places cannot be given in minor details. So only some important features will be given in a globe, but the minor details is left over in globe. Okay, so every features minor details is not given in a globe. Thirdly, a globe occupies considerable space. So this is also one of the demerits of a globe. A globe needs a considerable space. You cannot keep in pocket and roam around, and like in case of map, you can fold it and keep in your pocket and roam around, but in case of globe, it's spherical in shape. It has some weight. Okay, so you cannot carry it, and it needs some considerable space. Okay, so these are some of the disadvantages of globe. Now moving on to the next one, that is map. Now we'll discuss in brief about map. Now, as I already mentioned about map, so a map looks like an aerial view of some areas. Like if you have traveled in a flight, you might have seen the surface of the Earth, how it looks. Okay, so looking from a high top area of a higher region, okay, towards the lower region, the view whatever we see, that is what we call aerial view. So map looks like an aerial view of some areas. Okay, a map is a visual representation of a part of the Earth's surface, highlighting the relationship between elements of that areas such as distance, direction, and other objects. So what is it? It is a visual representation of the surface of the earth, a part of the surface of the earth. It highlights some relationship between the elements of the areas. What are the elements it has with its distance, its direction is also mentioned, and with the other object. Okay. Now, a collection of map in the form of book is also known as atlas. This is important. So a collection of book in the form of a collection of map in the form of book is also known as atlas. Now the word map comes from a Latin word mappa. Now what does mappa means? Mappa means napkin. Okay. So the word map is derived from a Latin word called mappa, and meaning of mappa is napkin. Okay. Now this is also important to note, the art and science of map making is called cartography. Now what is cartography? Cartography is a subject, or it is the art and science of map making, or it is a subject that deals with map making. It is also called cartography. Now the person who is specialized in the field of map making is also known as cartographer. Okay, so this is important to note here about the Latin word mappa means napkin, and cartography subject dealing with map making. Okay, and cartographer, the person who deals with map making, is called cartographer, are called cartographers. Okay, now we'll see some of the advantages of maps. Now how maps are beneficial to us, or what are the merits of maps. Now since maps are drawn in 2D means two-dimensional piece of paper, they are easy to fold. Like if it is made in 3D model, then it becomes difficult to carry. So as it is made in two-dimensional piece of paper, you can easily fold it. Okay, first thing. Secondly, calculating the direction and distance between any two places is much easier on a map in comparison to globe, because in case of globe is spherical. Okay, you cannot measure a distance with the help of a scale in a globe because it is spherical, whereas map is flat, so you can just take a distance between these two places. Okay, with the help of your ruler or with the help of your scale, you can measure the distance and calculate what is the actual distance between the two places. It is much easier in map comparatively to globe. In globe you can't measure the distance. So these are the advantages of map. Okay, now moving on to the next one, that is disadvantages of map. Now maps are accurate around the equator. Their distortion increases as they move away from the center towards the pole. Now when we draw a map, okay, maps are generally very accurate near the equator. In the middle portion is very accurate. As it moves towards the northern and the southern side or towards the pole, distortion means some kind of errors comes out in a map as if you draw map of this region and this region. Okay, now next we will see, that is, shape of the earth cannot be known with the help of map as it is drawn in 2 dimension. As it is mentioned earlier that map is drawn in 2-dimensional model, so shape cannot be seen, shape cannot be known with the help of a map. Like in case of globe gives the true shape of the earth, right? But here map cannot show you the shape of the earth as it is flat, it looks flat. The representation of the earth reality is in a flat piece of paper. You cannot see the shape of you cannot judge the shape of the earth with the help of map. So this is how these are the disadvantages of map. Now we'll see some of the importance of map. Now how maps are important to us. Now map gives us accurate information about places, number one. Number two, maps are used for defense and strategic purpose. So since early days, maps are used uh, by the defense personnels for the defense purpose, for planning their strategies. Okay, now maps are used in different fields like planning department, used by population scientists. Maps are used by traffic managers. Maps are used by historians. Now, apart from that, maps are also used by political parties. Maps are used by economic experts. Maps are used by newsmakers. So these are different fields where maps are used. Okay, so maps are important to us in various ways. Okay, as it gives accurate information of the place. Maps are used by the defense personnel for their planning their strategies. Maps are used in planning departments. Maps are used in population department by the population scientists. Maps are used by the political parties, etc. Now moving on to the next topic, that is plan. Now what are plans, or what is a plan? Now a plan shows the detail of a small area based on the actual measurement of the ground. You can just see the image of a plan here. Okay, whenever we want to make a building, construct a building or house, what we do, we make uh, plan a plan chart where the measurement is given, the size of the room, the size of the bathroom, size of the toilets, size of the living room is mentioned. Okay, that is what we call plan. It could be a plan of a house, a classroom, or multi-story building. Okay, so this is important to know. Plan is drawn with the help of drawing instrument. So drawing instrument is required. Okay, like we need a scale or some other instrument is required to draw plan. Okay, now next topic we have, that is sketch. This is also the other way of representing the reality of the earth. Sketch. Now what is a sketch? A sketch is a rough and freehand drawing of the relative position of a place with respect to others. Now such drawing is not based on any scale. This is important to note. Plan is drawn based on a scale, whereas sketch is not based on any scale or distance is not measured there. Okay, and does not have any, it should be any here, sorry, any features of the area in details. Okay, so sketch is simply a rough drawing. You can see here it is simply a rough drawing. A person is asking his friend to make a sketch of his nearest market, or a person is asking his friend's location in the form of a sketch. Okay, so his friend will be giving a sketch. Okay, from here to here, from this like name of the road, giving the name of the road, like a road. You have to travel from A road to B road, and there you'll see a temple. From that temple you have to turn left. Okay, in this way they will make a rough sketch. So that is simply an sketch where the scale is distance is not mentioned. Okay, so such type of drawing is known as sketch. Okay, now we'll discuss about the elements of map. So there are basically 5 elements of map. They are title, direction, scale, grid system, legend or key. So title, direction, scale, grid system, legends are the 5 basic elements of a map. So in any map these things should be mentioned. Title should be mentioned, direction should be mentioned, scale should be mentioned, grid system should be mentioned, and legends or key should be there. So I'll show you where are all this located in a map. Now you see this is the map of India, where we can see different elements of map. So first, starting with the title of the map. Now this is the title of map, India physical, that is, it is a physical map of India. Now secondly, you have a direction. This is the second elements of a map, direction is mentioned here. with an arrow pointing towards the north. And next we have that is the latitudes and longitudes. Mentioning of latitudes and longitudes is also mentioned here. You can see at the top and this side you can see 28 degree, 32 degree, again 24 degree, 80 degree. These are the latitudes of a map, okay, which is mentioned here. Then you have a map should have scale. Scale is also mentioned here. You can see here this bottom, okay, a graphical scale is mentioned here. Then lastly, key or legend is also mentioned in this map, that is it is here, different index is given, like for mountain what kind of sign, for mountainous region, for plateau region what type of symbols are given. So this is what we call keys or legends. So these are the 5 elements of a map which a map need to have. Okay, now coming to next one, that is types of map. Now maps are classified based on purpose. So based on purpose there are 3 types of map. Political map, which shows the political features. It shows the national boundaries, international boundaries, state boundaries, district boundaries. So all these are shown in a political map. Then we have physical map. Here it shows all the physical aspect, like the mountains, plateaus, plains, or rivers. Different types of landforms are shown in a physical map. And in thematic map, it is based on particular theme, maybe a soil. This India map is based on soil, drawn based on soil, so it will show the soil of, it's a soil map of India. Okay, so I'll draw only the different type of soil found in Gujarat, different type of soil found in Kerala, different type of soil found in Tamil Nadu, okay, Uttar Pradesh, or maybe this thematic Himalayan region, what type of forests are found in the Nilgiri region. Okay, so all these are a map showing all these features are thematic maps. Now coming to next, that is map based on scale. Now based on scale there are small scale map and large scale map. Now small scale map, what is it and what does it shows? Now it shows large area of the earth on small size map. Like you have an atlas is an example of a small scale map. World map or maybe a country map is an example of a small scale map. So that means a small scale map shows larger area but less detail. The details given in this map is very limited. Okay, so you have an atlas, a map which is in the atlas is a small scale map. World map, country maps are some examples of small scale map. And large scale map are those map that shows smaller areas, that are made for a smaller areas, but it gives greater details. The details given in that particular map is more clear. Okay, even the temples of that locality is shown, even the church of that locality is shown in that map. But in a small scale map, temples and church cannot be shown clearly. Okay, whereas in large scale map, this particular large scale map, a temples, a church, a road, railway lines are easily like visible. It is seen in that, shown in that particular map. So this is the these are the difference between a small scale map and a large scale map. Okay, now moving on to the next one is topographical map is an example of a large scale map. Now you can see the image of a topographical map here. This is how topographical map look like. Okay, and this is a large scale map. It also represents political features. Political features means boundaries of the say areas, maybe boundaries of that district, boundaries of that particular village. Okay, and it shows the physical features like rivers. You can see river here. This is a river, a perennial river. which supplies water almost throughout the year. Okay, it shows, and these are small rivers, non-perennial rivers or tributaries of the rivers, and it also shows the other physical features like it is an agricultural land, yellow colors. Okay, apart from that, it also shows socio-cultural features like maybe settlements with red color here, red color box settlement here, houses are shown in the topographical map. So basically a topographical map shows political features, physical features, socio-cultural features, whereas other maps does not show everything in a single map, whereas topographical map shows everything in a same map, all the features in a same map. Okay, so this is the difference between a topographical map and the other maps. Okay, now moving on to the next one is folded and faulted landforms. Okay, this is very important to note. So you'll be studying about folded and faulted landforms in the higher classes in more details. This is just to make you give you a brief idea about folded and faulted landforms. Now anticline and synclines are the two landforms developed in a folded structure. Now what are anticlines? Now anticlines are the unfolded part. You can see the part which is unfolded, or you can say upfolded part, you can say. Anticlines are the unfolded parts or the upfolded or bended parts. The top part of an anticline is also known as crest. So you can see a fold is simply a bend. Now what is fold? Fold is a bend on the surface of the earth. Okay, wave like bend that is formed on the surface of the earth is called fold. Now the fold which is towards the upward direction is known as anticline. The fold that is folded in the downward part is known as syncline. You can see here the fold which is folded on the upward side, which is protruding towards the upward side, is anticline, and the fold which is going down towards the base is known as syncline. Okay, so this is the difference between these two. Synclines, these are the downward folded part of a bend or a folded structure. The bottom of a syncline is called trough. So important to note, upward part of the fold is known as crest, okay, and downward part is known as trough. Okay, now moving on to the next one, that is block mountain or rift valley. Now block mountain or rift valleys is basically formed not due to folding activities, it is formed due to faulting activities. Now what is faulting? Let me tell you in short. So this is the earth crust. Now due to tensional force, due to internal movement, what happened is that this crust, in this crust fractures develops, cracks develops. So within this crust itself, whenever this block gets shifted down, okay, earlier this was the level of this crust, okay, so due to some reason, okay, this middle block got subsided down, it slipped down. Now you'll see this part got submerged below. So this type of features are called faulting, or we call it as faulting activities. So due to this faulting activities, some landforms are developed here. So this type of landform sometimes called block mountain or rift valleys. Now you see in the right hand side in this image, so this was the surface of the earth earlier. Due to faulting activities, what happened, this landform got submerged down, and even this one got submerged down. So the remaining block uplifted or remained in the same position, so due to which this block looked is quite in the higher elevation, so formed a block kind of it took the shape of a mountain. Okay, so this is why it is called block mountain, or sometimes the upward block is known as horst and downward shifted part is known as graben. So a mountain formed by the upliftment of the block of the earth crust is called block mountain, as I already told you, and the upward lifted block are called horst, and the downward collapsed part is called graben. Okay, so the valley, you can see a valley, square shape or rectangular shape valley is formed here. This valley is called rift valley. Okay, now moving on to the next one, that is river landforms. Now what type of landforms are formed by the rivers? Basically we'll discuss only the minor landforms that is developed by the rivers. The first is meanders, a kind of landforms developed by the running waters, streams. Meanders are the snake like bend, or you can say a zigzag pattern. Okay, whenever river starts from the origin, it moves, do not move straight, it moves in a zigzag pattern. So that zigzag pattern, or the course of the river, is known as meander or meanders. So a meander is a bend in the river course or the zigzag manner developed in the river course. Okay, now tributaries. Now what are tributaries? These are the smaller streams that joins the main river. The places where these tributaries meet with the main river is also known as confluence. This is important to note. What is confluence and tributaries? Tributaries, like say for example, this is a main river. When this main river is joined by number of small tributaries, tributary rivers, small streams. This small stream that joins the main river is known as tributaries. And confluence is a place, so this is the main river. Confluence is a place where the tributaries joins the main river. This place is called confluence. Two or more river meets. Now distributaries are also the small stream that diverts from the main streams. Say for example, this is the main streams. From here, when the stream diverts, separates from the main river, so this type of streams are known as distributaries. Okay, now what are deltas? A river delta is a landform that are formed due to deposition of the sediment carried by the rivers along its mouth. Okay, so you can see this is the river and this is the ocean where river deposits its sediments. So sediments are deposited here. After deposition of the sediments, a triangular type of landforms is developed nearby the river mouth. Such type of landforms is known as deltas. Okay, so this is all about the river landforms. I'll give you a home task you'll be doing at home. So that is, draw a simple sketch to show the route that takes the nearest market. You have to draw a sketch. Okay, you have to draw a sketch which leads to your nearest market. Okay, this is your market. Okay, you are staying here. From here you have to draw a sketch from your place to market. Draw a rough sketch of that particular region. Now secondly, you have draw a suitable diagram of folded structure. Okay, like this folded structure. You can download the image from the internet of the folded structure and draw the images in this way. Okay, and write anticline and syncline as well. So this will be your home task. Okay, you can submit me after 2 days. Thank you.